This is a public service. Oh, wow. I didn't even know there was an office over here. Hey.
How can I help you?
I'm looking for a citizen's complaint form.
I can get one for you.
I appreciate that.
Here you are. The instructions are all right here. There's 2 pages of information, and then you'll need to get it notarized, okay?
Perfect.
Anything else I can help you with?
How do you, pardon me, how can you submit it anonymously if you have to have it notarized?
I don't believe that it can be submitted anonymously. Why would you want to? If you're going to file a complaint, you obviously want resolved to an issue.
Yeah, I want the issue resolved, but I don't want retaliation. So that's my concern is
Okay.
making a complaint against a deputy and then being retaliated against for making the complaint.
Okay, I'm a civilian, so let me see if I have a sergeant
I
available.
appreciate
still.
that. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment.
Hey there. She just stepped away to get somebody. Do you know anything about these pictures out here?
Which picture?
The end of watch pictures?
What is your question about them?
Well, one of them says end of watch for the was 1895. Well, I didn't even realize that the Volusia County was incorporated in 1895.
I can't answer that question for you. All I know is that that is personnel from this area that was killed in the line. That's all I can answer for you.
They got some old years on that thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Hey there.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. Just had a question about the complaint form. She was mentioning the process.
Okay.
That it needed to be notarized. And I wondered how one would go about making an anonymous complaint.
Okay. So obviously what the form just kind of like helps out with the investigation, things of that nature. And if you're going to turn in the form, then it's got to be notarized, otherwise we can't use it, but I can still take the complaint.
Right, so, yeah, I understand what you're saying. So, I can't submit a complaint anonymously
No,
unless it's verbal.
No, if you wanted to put something in writing, you could. The problem is just sometimes that'll help us understand what your complaint is, if you'd rather write it down than do it verbally.
Yeah.
But when you're filling out the form to do an official complaint that goes up the ladder, that has to be notarized just so that we know it's not being done, you know.
So would doing it anonymously make it non-official?
No, that's not necessarily what I mean either, because even an anonymous complaint's gonna get investigated just the same.
Okay.
So basically though, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what it does is like, let's say we find that the deputy violated our general orders, you know, and the complaint was valid. You know what I mean? I don't even know what the complaint is, but just in general, if the complaint's valid.
Yeah, it's a civil rights complaint.
Okay, this is just something that basically would end up just moving forward. We have this in writing and it goes into the file and all that other kind of stuff. Otherwise, what we end up having is just more of our narrative that goes in the file. And so when it comes down to it, it's just one of those things that we like a little bit more official. And honestly, it just kind of helps with us with our investigation.
Okay, but, I mean, just for clarity, I can fill this out and turn it in and not have it notarized, and it's gonna be investigated like it would be had I had it notarized.
Now, if you wanted to write your own statement, yes, but if you're gonna turn in that form, I actually wouldn't be able to submit that form unless it was notarized. Now, when you're trying to say anonymous, can I ask why?
Yeah, I'm concerned about retaliation.
Okay, because I'll tell you this, okay, whether it's anonymous to us or not, in order for us to investigate it, we're gonna have to know who the other complaint is on. We're gonna have to like look into it, you know, see if we have like footage, see if we have like, go through the call history, all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna have to investigate it. So, you know, I'm still gonna need your information and the complaint, you know what I mean? And I'm still gonna need his information so I can try to look this up. Now,
yeah, well, their information, I mean, the deputy's information, I have. It's not an issue of not having the deputy's information.
right. What I'm saying is the investigation is basically gonna be the same either way. So whether you have that notarized to turn that in or not, the deputy is not gonna know about it until internal affairs does their investigation. You know what I mean? And then he'll know about it.
Okay.
But the thing is when, say we do it anonymously, okay? When it comes up and the investigation's done, just like any other time in court of law or anywhere else where the accused, you know, has the right to face their accuser, if IA finds that the deputy did something wrong, they're gonna explain to him, this is what you're in trouble for. This is what you did, it was on this call, and I mean, odds are that deputy's probably gonna remember that call anyway.
Right.
So, in a way, it's kind of hard to stay, it's really hard to stay anonymous in this, you know,
I'm gonna try.
whether you do the form or not.
Okay.
I can tell you right now though, that someone that's the subject of an IA for a citizen complaint, if there was any form of retaliation from that deputy, that's not just you're fired, that's like criminal charges.
Yeah, well,
So-
I get that, but that doesn't necessarily put me at ease, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you can understand why, because in theory, the retaliation still occurs, right? Whether they get fired after the fact or not. You know, I'm concerned about retaliation. If they retaliate, then they get fired and charged criminally, but the retaliation still occurred. Now, I realize we're talking hypotheticals, so.
Right. And the other part too to keep in mind though is, I'm not doing a very good job of explaining what I mean by officially, but that's where that form actually comes in.
Okay.
And has some benefit to it. You know what I mean? Because if it comes back and we have everything here and then there is some kind of retaliation, the state looks at that form, you know, it makes it a little bit more official. They know, it's kind of like if you're trying to report a crime and the state attorney's office can't prosecute because the victim refused to do a witness statement. It makes it harder to prosecute. It doesn't mean they can't prosecute, it just makes it harder because the witness wasn't willing to give a statement. You know what I mean? We can still investigate and come up with our findings. So that's all that is. You can do it anonymous if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's just that just makes it a little bit easier.
Okay. Sure.
And that's all that is. But yeah, for whatever you need to hand over to me, if you don't want to fill that out, if you want to write on a thing, or you want to leave and come back with that.
Yeah, I'm Todd's telling me that. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but.
Honestly, I am too, but when I'm wearing all this
Yeah,
gear,
you're-
I can't tell if it's ever me or if it's the room, you know what I mean? So,
Is it Sergeant?
Sergeant.
Sergeant Cheek?
Yes.
It was good to meet you. I appreciate the conversation.
Not a problem.
Can I ask you a pointed question?
Sure.
The First Amendment of the Constitution, it guarantees 5 fundamental freedoms. Do you know the 5 freedoms it guarantees?
Well, I mean, not to sit here and quote, no.
Okay. Well, I mean, as a constitutional deputy, would you make a point of knowing what those things are? I mean, it's really important. I mean, it's
Sure.
really, really important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want me to tell you what they are?
Sure.
There's an acronym. You'll never forget it again. RAPS. RAPPS.
Okay.
Religion, assembly, petition, press and speech.
Okay.
It's important, deputy.
Yeah. Which one of those did the deputy do?
Which one did he violate?
Yes.
He didn't violate that one. He
Okay.
violated a different one.
I got you. Okay.
But that one, I mean, I think it's important, hopefully you think it's important that, that, you know, the people that you're in charge of, because you're in charge of who knows how many deputies, but
Right.
it's, you know, it's very important that they understand the Constitution, they swore an oath, right?
Okay. Yep.
Alright.
So you just wanna fill that out then and bring it back later, is that what you wanna do?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much for your time.
You have a good day.
You as well. Can I take this also?
The statement? Absolutely.
Thank you, Deputy.
No problem. Have a good day.
You as well.